shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Our big weather maker this morning is definitely the cold. Our temperatures are in the 20s and teens, and it feels bitter with the wind chill. We'll go over what you'll see.
Also happening now, water main repairs. Workers are out fixing a leak on Franklin Street in Chapel Hill. The timeline for the job and how it could affect the morning commute. Also, new connections. Witness testimony revealing new details about the man accused of killing 2 teens in Orange County. What we're expecting from today's 3rd day of that trial. Good morning to you at 4:30. We're so glad you're up with us. We appreciate that. Let's go ahead and get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center, tracking a really bitterly cold morning.
It really is. Our skies are clear, so we have the top of the tower here lit in blue. And with clear skies, we can have some very efficient cooling, meaning the temperatures can drop fast. We have a west wind at 3 miles per hour, so the wind isn't very strong this morning, but our temperature in the triangle is sitting at 24, and it's likely to drop to around 20 by the time we get to, say, around 7 or 8 o'clock this morning. Wind chills at 20 right now in the triangle. It feels like 15 in Fayetteville, 18 in Clinton, 14 in Goldsboro, and 18 in South Hill. So feeling like teens with the wind chill. It will be a chilly afternoon for us, again, like yesterday, but we also have the wind, and with the dry conditions, we have increased fire danger from the triangle area northward and westward. So you want to put off any outdoor burning. Starting really chilly, upper teens to low 20s, and we'll climb into the mid 40s for this afternoon. It'll be nice and sunny, but a bit on the breezy side. Everybody wants to know, hey, are we going to get that snow on Sunday? Yesterday afternoon, we started to trend wetter instead of more wintry. So with the precipitation arriving earlier, the cold air doesn't have time to get here before the precipitation does. So now it looks like it may be more of a rain event for most of us. I'm going to walk you through Futurecast coming up.
Thanks a lot, Elizabeth. Right now, crews are working to fix a water main break in Chapel Hill. WR's Ali Kettlebar is on East Franklin Street this morning. And Ali, the wards there needed to be treated because of the freezing temperatures Elizabeth just mentioned.
And Ken, yeah, they said when they got here there was some ice on the road. DOT had to come treat the roads for them. But right now we're seeing the work is being done just down the road, East Franklin Street right here. We're right by Roosevelt Drive. And you can also see that the traffic is reduced to 1 lane on both sides. So traffic can get through. Now, this is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker giving you a closer look of that work being done right now. You can see that small hole in the road, that's where that water line leak is happening. And Orange County Water says that just 6 customers are being affected by this outage right now, but the traffic is the main focus. They said it could take up to 4 to 6 hours, so we could see this affect your morning commute, especially if you're heading this way. We could see some problems with merging into that 1 lane right there. Of course, we are staying on top of this throughout the morning. Reporting live in Chapel Hill, Ali Kettlebar, WRAL News.
Well, this morning, crews have finished repairing a water main break in Cary. This is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker on Cary Parkway near Harrison Avenue. This is around 11 o'clock last night. Crews had to close part of 1 lane while they repaired the line and patched up the road. About 120 homes were without water for several hours. Proceedings will be held today in the case of the murder trial of Lyric Woods and Devin Clark. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey live again outside for us this morning at the Orange County Courthouse. And Kelsey, we'll learn more about the connections between the accused and the victims.
Yes, Ken, another day of new testimony this morning. We're staying on top of all of the new developments here inside the Orange County Courthouse. Let's get you up to speed for what happened yesterday during the second day of the trial. Isaiah Ross is accused of murdering 2 teens, Lyric Woods and Devin Clark, back in 2022. Several witnesses took to the stand yesterday, including the medical examiner. The medical examiner explained that Woods had 7 gunshot wounds and Clark had 6. We also heard from Antoine Bryant, who is related to Clark's dad. He testified that Ross and Clark knew each other. The weekend of the murders, Ross stayed at Bryant's home after fighting with his mom about damage to her car. Well, Bryant took him to the bus station when Ross went to Delaware. Law enforcement spoke with Bryant 2 days later as they were searching for Ross.
You mean to tell me this person probably killed my cousin? I said they were just here at my house. I said, I just fed them. I just gave them a ride. I said, I was looking out for them. I said, no.
The trial continues this morning at 9:30, so we'll have a crew here in the courtroom. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News. I'm in Orange County.
Well, crews are working to repair the Raleigh Convention Center after last month's fire are making progress. This is video from the city of Raleigh of the damaged chiller being lowered from the roof. It happened yesterday. A crane is now set up on McDowell Street to facilitate that work. Temporary AC units also are being installed. Well, drivers are being encouraged to avoid the area around the convention center while that work is being completed. 2 lanes of McDowell Street are blocked off from MLK Jr. Boulevard exit ramp to West Cabarrus Street. The city recommends using Wilmington Street to get around the closure, which will be in place through Sunday. President Trump threatening to deploy federal troops in Minnesota as tensions between protesters and federal agents intensify. This comes a day after an ICE agent shot a Venezuelan man in the leg during an attempted traffic stop in Minneapolis, and a week after another ICE agent shot and killed Renee Good. In a social media post, President Trump threatened to invoke the Insurrection Act to deploy federal troops. But state and local officials say the move would create more problems. According to a law enforcement official, there are roughly 3,000 federal agents on the ground there in Minneapolis. Investigators are working to learn what caused this huge fire at a former manufacturing plant right near the North Carolina-Virginia border. These pictures are from Emporia, just about 20 miles north of Roanoke Rapids. The fire started at the old Georgia Pacific plywood plant around 6:30 last night. The plant has been closed since May, by the way. Firefighters say strong winds allowed the fire to spread into the woods and caused these brush fires. No one was hurt. Well, today mourners will gather in Charlotte to honor the lives of NASCAR driver Greg Biffle and his family. Biffle, his wife Christina, and their 2 children died in a plane crash in Statesville last month. 3 other people also died in that crash. A memorial service is happening at 11 this morning at Bojangles Coliseum. The man accused of shooting Charlie Kirk is scheduled to make a court appearance today. Tyler Robinson faces several felonies, including aggravated murder in connection with the shooting back in September in Utah. Robinson's attorneys, though, are expected to allege a conflict of interest in the Utah County's attorney's office. They say a child of one of the attorneys was at the Utah Valley University event where Kirk was killed. The county's attorney's office denying the claim, saying the child did not actually see Kirk when he was shot and did not see anyone that day with a gun. Police are searching for the person they say is spraying hate speech on one of the largest buildings in Wendell. Anti-Semitic and vulgar messages were first discovered Sunday along Hollybrook Road. Police painted over the vulgar language the next day, but days later, more hate speech appeared. Police say this time it was targeting President Trump, Vice President Vance, and Charlie Kirk. Wendell town leaders are asking anyone with information about these cases to give them a call. Also in Wendell, police are investigating a separate incident. Police say someone threw a brick through a window at the Wendell Masonic Lodge Wednesday. Officers did not find any other damage, though, anywhere nearby. A former U.S. senator getting taken to court in North Carolina as she's accused of ruining her security guard's marriage. Kristen Sinema from Arizona faces what is called an alienation of affection lawsuit. Heather Amel of Moore County claims Sinema had an affair with her husband, who was the senator's security guard. We spoke with a lawyer who says these cases are hard to prove and difficult to win.
They are difficult, they're challenging. You need to have a defendant who has the money to recover.
We reached out to Sinema's attorney as well as an attorney for Matthew Amel. We have not heard back. You might remember we had another high-profile alienation of affection case in our area last November. A TikTok influencer was ordered to pay $1.7 million for breaking up a Durham couple's marriage. Akira Montague accused Brene Kennard of having an affair with her husband, Tim. Montague claimed Kennard broke up her marriage, and the jury agreed. Fayetteville police are asking for help finding the person responsible for a shooting death. 28-year-old Tavon Adams was shot on July 7th. Police found Adams dead on Slim Circle around 2 o'clock in the morning that day. Police say this car was seen in the area at the time of the shooting. It's a gray 2007 Ford Focus with a clear coat on the roof that appears to be fading, no hubcaps, dark tinted windows, and missing the gas tank cover. Call Fayetteville police if you can help out with this case. Rising death toll. New information this morning about the devastating apartment fire in Hong Kong as we're coming up at 4:40. The new information after 13 arrests were made. Also, a basketball gambling scheme. The betting plot spanning across 17 universities. What we know about federal charges in this case. And we are tracking some weekend winter weather. This is a live look at a beautifully decorated Franklinton. Ahead, the chances of snow, wintry mix, or just cold rain.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
It is 4:43, and the big story this morning, of course, is the cold air that's with us. 24 in Wilson right now, as well as Durham, and it's 23 in Fayetteville. Temperatures will likely drop even more by the time we get to, say, 6 or 7 o'clock this morning. We'll have some folks dropping back down into the teens. Now, the wind chill already feels like teens in a lot of places. 15 in Fayetteville, 16 in Southern Pines, 19 up in South Hill, and 14 in Goldsboro. So if there was any day this week that you were going to bundle up, today would be the day that you want to do that. Hopefully we'll see the kids at the bus stop and the coats. It's going to be a day. Hats and gloves certainly will be more comfortable. 41 at lunchtime, and we climb into the mid-40s this afternoon. I want to show you what's new with what we're seeing on Sunday. In the last 12 hours or so, we've had some differing information coming in from the computer models. I'll share it coming up, Ken.
Look forward to that, Elizabeth. Thanks. New this morning, the death toll from that apartment complex fire late last year in Hong Kong has risen to 168. Officials announcing the remains of 7 more victims were found 7 weeks after that fire. Investigators say no one else is missing. Chinese authorities say the netting that covered scaffolding during renovations was not up to fire safety codes. 13 people have been arrested in connection with that fire. Senior officials are expressing the need for de-escalation in Iran after the United Nations Security Council held an emergency meeting yesterday. The U.S. threatening to strike Iran in retaliation for its government killing protesters. UN Ambassador Mike Wall says all options are on the table. Iranian officials told the UN they blame the U.S. for, quote, steering unrest in their country. Well, new basketball gambling allegations spreading all across 17 universities. The federal government charging 20 players and 6 fixers in a point-shaving scheme. The indictment says attempts were made to fix 29 games. The schools have not been accused of any wrongdoing, though.
Sport itself and everything that sports represent to us.
Those who believed they could operate in the shadows, defraud the public, and escape justice were wrong.
Prosecutors say this latest scheme involved millions of dollars of fraudulent bets. Well, 2 new measles cases have been reported in North Carolina. The infected children are siblings who live in Buncombe County in western North Carolina. Both of them are in isolation, and officials are notifying others of possible exposure. Health officials say these cases are connected to the outbreak in South Carolina. 7 measles cases have been identified in North Carolina since late December. Doctors are encouraging people to get vaccinated. Coming to Josh Stein back in the North Carolina area after a trip to D.C. There's some good news to share. The federal government finally agreeing to start buying out property damaged by Tropical Storm Helene. More than 500 people who lost their homes in that storm have asked for the buyout. For more than a year, FEMA would not approve any requests. Well, that changed yesterday. Stein told national leaders about a woman he met recently from Sawanonoa. He hopes the federal government will finally help her.
She raised her hand and said, I want you all to take my property, and the way it works is they buy the property and then it becomes green space forever so that there won't be anyone who experiences pain if there is future flooding.
Governor Stein says because of the slow response out of D.C., the federal government has only paid for 12% of the damage from Helene. In past storms, the government covered 40 to 70% of the damage. Well, speaking of storm, let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Garner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. No storms, but an interesting weather pattern shaping up this weekend.
Definitely. So it's looking a little bit more like rain and less like snow on Sunday, and I'm going to explain why we're seeing those changes coming out. But boy, when you walk out the door this morning, it is cold out there. Our temperatures are in the 20s and the wind chill in the teens in a lot of places. Our highs will climb into the 40s this afternoon, but with the wind chill, still going to feel like 30s. With the windy, dry conditions, we have high fire danger for today. today, so you want to put off any outdoor burning. And we're looking at that potential for a wintry mix on Sunday. It is starting to trend more rain than snow, though, for the bulk of us. Here's a live look outside right now. We have the top of the tower lit in blue for clear skies. Cold temperatures. It is 24. Our winds are light at 3 miles per hour out of the west, but we're still going to see that wind chill down into the teens. 16 in Southern Pines, 14 in Goldsboro, 19 in South Hill, 15 is what it feels like in Fayetteville right now. So around town, you're going to want to keep bundled up today with the breezy conditions and temperatures in the mid to upper 40s, but it does stay nice and sunny. We had that big shot of cold air being delivered from Canada, but as we get into tomorrow, it moves northward just for the day, and here's where the issue comes in. Now that cold air has to move back in on Sunday in time to make it snow, and that is looking less and less likely. It looks like the precipitation is going to arrive faster and the colder air will arrive slower. So for a lot of us, that just means rain. Wintry precip may begin as rain. Anybody who's going to see snow is going to see it because the cold air catches up to the precipitation, and that is never a good pattern for us. A good pattern is having the cold air already in place with the precipitation moving in on top of it. You know, yesterday and the day before, that really looked like what we would see, but no longer does. For Saturday, we could see just a couple of sprinkles. We're going to see increasing cloud cover. We'll start to see the rain rolling in early on Sunday. This is going to be lunchtime, and we're all set up. Now, it's possible that the farthest edge of the precipitation, maybe from Raleigh westward, becomes a few flurries, but that's where the precipitation will be the lightest. And so we're not looking at anything that's going to be a major snowstorm for us here. We'll take a look at more of the scenarios coming up in just a little while. We'll jump ahead to Monday for the holiday. It still looks very cold with overnight lows in the 20s on Monday morning, Tuesday morning, and Wednesday morning in the teens, Ken.
Oh my gosh, I'm shivering just thinking about that. Thanks, Elizabeth. Trafficking and assault accusations. 2 women coming forward against Spanish singer Julio Iglesias while they're speaking up against a famous musician. Also, new TV roles. A Game of Thrones star has 2 upcoming shows. Sophie Turner's latest work, and more entertainment news coming up. Welcome back. Spanish singer Julio Iglesias facing a list of disturbing allegations. 2 women who worked in his homes in the Bahamas and the Dominican Republic accusing Iglesias of human trafficking, assault, and sexual harassment. Their attorneys say they filed a formal complaint with prosecutors in Spain. The 2 women hope to inspire others who feel they cannot speak up.
To find justice for themselves, but they're also trying to, amplify their voices so other women that are out there can see in the pursuit of justice hope.
Representatives for Iglesias have not responded to a request for a comment. He is one of the best-selling Latin artists of all time and the father of pop star Enrique Iglesias. A first look at the movies and shows starring major celebrities. Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
What happened?
You had an accident.
An accident, huh?
We dug you up, then we brought you back to life.
Hamnet star Jessie Buckley is undead and loving it. She pairs up with Christian Bale's monster in the official trailer for The Bride. They spark not only a romance, but a rampage, going Bonnie and Clyde in pursuit of social change. The Bride, written and directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal, comes alive in theaters March 6th.
Miss Turner, one smile.
Sophie Turner has a new adventure. The Game of Thrones star is the new Lara Croft. Amazon MGM Studios released this first look of Turner in the series, which has begun production. Turner will next be seen in another Prime Video series, Steel, premiering Wednesday.
He might very well be the last of his kind.
Kate Blanchett is getting her Viking warrior back on. The Oscar-winning actress voiced Valka in the animated How to Train Your Dragon movies. Now she's set to reprise the role in the live-action How to Train Your Dragon 2, due in theaters in June of 2027. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Monday is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Each year, there's an honorary breakfast at the Sheraton Imperial in RTP. This is video from last year's event. The breakfast brings together people of all walks of life, religious faiths, to honor Dr. King's legacy. WRAL and Capital Broadcasting are proud presenting sponsors. You can watch it in its entirety starting at 7:15 Monday morning on WRAL.com. Our news continues at the top of the hour. Water main break. Crews are working on repairs now in Chapel Hill. How the work could impact your morning commute on East Franklin Street. And the murder trial in Orange County. New connections were found between the victim and the accused. What we expect in court today. Also, anti-Semitic vandalism. Police are searching for a person they say is spraying hate speech on Wendell buildings. The recurring instances of graffiti.